We put a lot of emphasis on careers nowadays and working your 9 to 5 and just doing the grind every single day. And I understand that. And I think it is right for a lot of people. But there's another group of people that I don't think it's right for. And so today's video, I'm going to talk about, you know, the people that want something more out of life and how to go about that. Like if you're thinking, I work a 9 to 5, but maybe this isn't for me, and maybe you've found a lack of motivation in what you do, and you used to love it, and you don't anymore. So in today's video, I want to talk about some of the things that I kind of changed my mind on and shifted from that mindset. And over the last few years, how I've, kind of steered in another direction. I want to share the thoughts that I have with that, and maybe if you have the same type of feelings, to maybe helping you with those thoughts and seeing that you're not alone. There's other people going through that too. So let's talk about that. I remember being in a meeting on a Monday, and we had a team meeting on Mondays and we all to get together. So, and just sitting there with my coffee and getting on the call, and we'd get ready for the week and get our call going. And I noticed a pattern where it seems like every Monday people would get on the call and, hey, how's it going? How was your weekend? Oh, it's Monday. And that would kind of be the theme, it's Monday. And then when Wednesday rolls around, oh, it's hump day. We're halfway there. Getting spirits getting a little better. And then Friday would come around and everybody's in a great mood. It's Friday, so everything's great today. And it was just funny how the mood kind of changed from Monday to Friday, and then you repeat the process, the next week. So I started to think about this, and I thought, this isn't just something that's going on with me. It's something that's obviously prevalent for everybody, or the majority of people. Now I know there's people that do enjoy what they do, and that's all they want to do, and they're happy and content with where they are. And this video is not, directed toward those people. If you're happy doing what you want to do, I'm not here to change your mind on that. What I do want to talk about is how that that kind of sat with me, where this feeling of, having to come in every week, in order to pay your bills. There's a difference between enjoying your job because it's something you want to do, and then having to go in. And I think I got to the point where I was enjoying it for a long time, but then it just kind of got redundant. It seemed to be the same thing over and over. And I was in the IT field, and stuff would kind of wear on you, and it just started to feel like, these were things that you had to do now. And it didn't feel as exciting as it once did. You kind of lose your passion, or at least I lost my passion a little bit. So as I was thinking about this type of stuff, I kind of went back and, kind of started to evaluate my life and where I wanted to go and where I was. And I did the natural thing that anybody would do, and I started to research career development and, self-development and learning more to excel in my job. And I started trying to climb that ladder. And I felt like it was just kind of overwhelming for me, where, I had just my first child, and, we were a young family. I had just gotten married. And so, I was trying to deal with family life too. So I was trying to balance, and being in IT, you get on call a lot. So, the work-life balance, where I was trying to do work at work, and then I was trying to do work at home too. And on top of that, I was trying to excel and take certification classes. I was in Cisco certifications. I was doing things like my CCNA and CCNP and stuff like that. So this was taking a lot of my time. And so I started to get these certifications. And I thought, this is going to be the way for me to progress and to get better and to do more challenging things and to not be stagnant. And I felt like I was doing a lot in work and outside of work, and trying to get up that corporate ladder. And it would take years. I spent years trying to excel at my job, and I did, but it didn't seem like I always had that ceiling, that I couldn't get past. And without just more time and putting in more effort, it just seemed like I could never get past. So I felt like, there's got to be something more to this. So that was that was when I started to realize that, I've got to start doing some financial things. I've got to start making better financial decisions. And so I started to research things in investing and, just how to handle my money better and do stuff like that. So I got into investing and I bought a rental property, and it wound up being a short-term rental. This was back before COVID, and this was, when Airbnb was really not a big deal and it wasn't a big thing. But I got into Airbnb and it turned out to be really lucrative. And so I I did really well with Airbnb. And one of the other things that I was studying when I was studying investing and real estate and all that was I was starting to study business and how to start your own business. And so I took that Airbnb rental and the money that I was making with it, and I was sharing that with my family and with friends. And so that turned into a business where other people started coming to me and they were saying, "Man, what you're doing is really cool. How can I do that? And would you manage it for me?" And so when that happened, I turned my investment managing that property into a business. So now I was doing a couple of things that, I had studied about and was learning about. So investing was one of them. My dog's barking. So investing was one of them, and then, um, turning that into a business. That was another thing. So that was all going really well, and at the same time, I'm learning more about business and stuff like that. So that was when first got a taste of how to do things different with money, and I started to see things in a different way, and it changed my mind on working, and trying to get ahead in the corporate world as opposed to, doing things kind of on my own. I started to see that there's more to this life than just a regular career, a regular 9 to 5. And I started to see how people would build businesses and stuff like that. After COVID happened, the business kind of slowed down. Airbnb slowed down. And I started to see that maybe that wasn't, it was what was difficult for that business was getting clients. So I got some friends and family, and I was able to get some more clients through my website and the SEO. But then the SEO didn't work as much, and I wasn't getting inbound clients. So this created a new problem for me. Getting clients was the bottleneck to my business. So this set me on a new path and set me on, for business, not only just providing the best service and trying to do the best service I could. My business wouldn't grow anymore if I didn't have leads coming in. So this set me on a new path to where the bottleneck is getting new clients, and the bottleneck is, getting new customers to come into my business. So once I started to research getting leads into a business and started trying to figure out that part of a business, I started to see other things in business that I had never seen before. And I do a lot of my research on YouTube. I love YouTube, always have been a fan of watching YouTube. But I started to see what other people on YouTube were doing. And I started to see their business models that they were doing and how they were using YouTube to get clients into their business. So I started trying to figure out how to do YouTube. And this is when I started YouTube. I started, I think, about 8 months ago in YouTube. And I really just started trying to learn YouTube as a creator, and never really got into the business side. I'm still not really into the business side and still trying to learn. But I started seeing where YouTube was being used as a business, and not just not just for AdSense, or you when you think about YouTube and making money on YouTube, I think the first thing that comes to mind is making the ad money, the ad revenue on YouTube. But if you look at it and watch anybody that you know of, that you subscribe to, look at what they're doing in their descriptions and in their bios and stuff like that. And they've usually got links back to stuff, whether it's affiliate marketing, like you're buying product through them, or if it's a coaching program or whatever. There's a lot of different ways to actually monetize YouTube. And the more I looked into it, there is the AdSense part, the ad revenue part, is actually that's usually the smallest part of the monetization of YouTube. I saw YouTube as a vehicle. I saw it as this way that it can take me from where I was, where I am, and take me to where I want to go. And so the way to do that is just to build, if you wanted to build your audience, build a personal brand, is what a lot of people are doing, is building this personal brand, which is basically like your reputation that you're building on YouTube. And build this up, and then, offer value. You're not trying to take advantage of people, but you're trying to offer things to people to help them to where they're happy that you're trying to help them, happy enough to want to give you their hard-earned money to help them. And so I started to see this as a business plan, and started to see this as part of the business. So really, I just wanted to let you know that this is a plan that I'm starting, and this is a long-term goal. It's going to take a while, and so this journey for me is really quite new. So I'm trying to get used to this, and I'm making this a long-term goal. I'm making this something that it's going to take a while. I'm dedicated to this, and I'm already all in on it, and I've been doing it since October. Most people, it takes quite a while to do this and to build this brand up. But I want to build a following, and I want to be able to connect with people, and I want to be able to serve people and help people. But I also want to let you know that if you are in a position like I was, where you had a 9 to 5, or you have a 9 to 5, or you have a career, and you may not be completely happy with where it's going, or you may not want to do it for another 30 years. You may not want this, to be your end goal, and you may have more ambitions than, where you're at. I want to let you know that there are other ways to do it. And I'm using YouTube right now as a vehicle to try to get me there. And I want you guys to be a part of it and see how it goes. I want to make this more of a personal channel. I know a lot of the videos that I have on here are there. I'm still in the learning phase, so a lot of this is difficult for me to do. It's hard to present in front of a camera. But I do want to I want to let y'all know that there are other ways to do life here than just to, do what the traditional, what we've always been taught, and thinking outside the box and thinking bigger than, than the regular go to work and get paid and go home and watch TV type of attitude. It's a lot of work, and it's going to take a lot of time, but the payoff is going to be great. If this is something that you would want to see, let me know. And, hopefully this struck a nerve with you, and I'll see you on the next one.